I want to thank everybody for chiming in. Watchman Yahudah Israel, also known as Pastor Derek. Man, we finna get it in, y'all. Facebook Live, we on once again. Hit your friends list. Let them know we on the Galatians series. I got to deal with the law, y'all. And a great book to deal with it is Galatians. So, let's get it in then, right? All right.
Praise God for the word.
Hallelujah. Yep. My phone ringing. Gotta wait for it to start. No, I don't. I ain't gotta wait. Let's get started.
Conference muted. Conference recording started.
I want to thank everybody for chiming in. This is Watchman Yahudah Israel, also known as Pastor Derek, man, on the evening scripture study on his 19th day in February 2018. We're on the Galatians series. We did Galatians 1, now we back at it. Let's go to Galatians, the second chapter. Let's get it in. Hallelujah. Let's look at it one more time. Now, looking at Galatians, like the first chapter, right? He was just setting the stage, just letting it be known that, he was marveling that the Jews would switch to another gospel, and then he said it's not another gospel. He's letting it be known that the New Testament, the New Covenant, is the true gospel, and what they switch it to, going back to the law, that ain't it. And then he said he was boss in the Jews' religion, above many of his peers. But Yah had mercy on him when he saw fit. He snatched him out of that. And then he said that then the revelations that he had came directly from Yah. And the apostles added nothing to him but the counterwise. He added to them, explaining how the Jews, the Gentiles, can be saved. And he's still in the middle of that conversation because chapters and verses are just for navigational purposes. So we're picking it up in the middle of the conversation in Galatians, the second chapter. Look what he said. Start the first verse. He said, then 14 years after I went up again to Jerusalem with Barnabas and took Titus with me also, and I went up by revelation and communicated unto them that gospel which I preached among the Gentiles, but privately to them which were of reputation, least by any means I should run or had run in vain. He understood that people get caught up in pride, especially those of reputation, folks that think that they are evangelists, prophets, deacons, pastors, folks who run around with these lofty titles. Bishop ain't good enough; they got to be an archbishop. All these prelates and just all these titles. He said he didn't want to get caught up, so he went to those that's in authority privately because he didn't want to make a wasted trip, right? So he said, then after 14 years, I went up to Jerusalem with Barnabas and took Titus with me also, and went up by revelation and communicated on them that gospel which I preached among the Gentiles, but privately to them which were of reputation, at least by any means I should run in vain, right? But neither Titus, who was with me, being a Greek, he was a Greek, right, was compelled to be circumcised. They wanted Titus to be circumcised. Just like our Hebrew brothers and sisters now talking about some doggone tassels and beards. Talking about the Sabbath day and all that old type stuff, not really knowing the word. That's old Torah. That's old covenant. The letter killeth, it's the ruah that gives life. Abraham, our father, didn't have no 10 commandments running around here with tassels. It wasn't even about that. Nor is it now. All the dress code is shadows and types of the coming of the Messiah. The true Sabbath, the Messiah is the one that said, come unto me, all you labor and heavy laden, and I give you rest. The true rest is in him. Going into Canaan was a type of a Sabbath. Going into Canaan was a type of a Sabbath. There's new moons and Sabbaths. Saturday was a type of a Sabbath. Some people believe it's Thursday. Depends on what calendar you're dealing with. But Canaan, the Sabbath, but the true Sabbath, the one that concluded the shadow Sabbaths, is the Mashiach. Come on to be all your labor, heavy laden, I give you rest. You'll find rest unto your souls. But neither Titus, who was with me being a Greek, was compelled to be circumcised. And that because of false brethren, unawares brought in, who came in privately to spy out our liberty, which we have in Yahushua HaMashiach, that they may bring us into bondage. And the bondage is the commandments. Read 2 Corinthians, the 2 Corinthians, the 3rd chapter. It is the ministration of damnation, is bondage. There's no liberty, no freedom in the 10 commandments. You go against the 10, you die. Anyone that broke Moses' commandments, they call it Moses, died before 2 or 3 witnesses, and that without mercy. Because ain't no mercy in the law. You break it, you're done. Folks place mercy inside the 10 commandments when the word clearly said there was no mercy in the 10 commandments. But folks got the game twisted. The only way you get mercy is like the law came through Moses, but so-called grace and truth came through the Messiah. The mercy, grace and truth came through the Messiah, not the law. There is no mercy in the law. And that because a false brethren unawares brought in, who came in privately to spy out our liberty, which we have in the Mashiach, that they might bring us into bondage. Because ain't no liberty in the 10 commandments. You break it, you're done, son. And to whom we gave place by subjection, no, not for an hour. We did not give in to that. Folks run around here believing that you're not saved unless you worship on a particular day. But the word teaches this is the day that Yah's made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. He renamed the Sabbath in David in Psalms. I believe it's 95. And he spoke of it in Hebrews, the 3rd chapter and the 4th chapter. But he renamed it in David in the 4th chapter when he said, today you hear his voice, harden not your heart. Today. He renamed the Sabbath today. And then in the 4th chapter, he also lets you know, just as Yah rested from his works on the 7th day, we also shall rest from ours. And our works is carnality. Our works is the natural man. Our works is sin. Working according to this natural carnal nature. Even our righteousness don't even work in this race. Our righteousness is like filthy rags, right? To whom we gave place by subjection? No, not for an hour. That the truth of the gospel might continue with us. Somebody got to stand with truth. Somebody got to stand with these law bullies. Someone said that I was out of pocket because I shaved my beard. Y'all don't see as man see. Man look at the outer appearance. Man look at see if you got a shave or not. See if you got your fringes on. See if you wearing an ephod or not. But Yah looks at the heart. Some men like to see what's on in your plate, what you eating. But the Mashiach said it's not that which goes into the mouth that defiles the man, because that goes out into the toilet. But that which comes out, which is adulteries and fornication and envying and lying, that's the problem. Folks get caught up in the shadow. The Old Testament, the Torah was all shadow. All shadow. Tabernacle, feast days, all shadow. You can study and find out what they represented. And if you mess around and go further in your studies with Revelation, you'll find out that they were all fulfilled in the Mashiach, in the Messiah. That's why he's the end of the law to them that believe. To the Hebrew first, but also to the Greek, also to the Gentile. Because a false brother unaware and brought in who came in privately to spot our liberty, which we have in Yahudah. You know what that liberty was? Free from the law. Not running around here with tassels. Not tripping off the feast days on that level. The Mashiach kept it because he came under the law. Galatians 4:4, when the fullness of time was come, Yisrael, his son, made of a woman, made under the law. He came up under the law because it took someone to keep the law to take us from up under the bondage of it. It had to be solved because there's nothing wrong with the law. There's nothing wrong with the Ten Commandments, but man couldn't keep it. So all have sinned and come short. The only one that ever kept it flawlessly was the Mashiach. He had to fulfill it. He had to keep it to fulfill it to take us from up under it. Or else humanity is doomed because, again, there's nothing wrong with the law. Nothing. Even though it's a shadow, it had a deeper meaning, but there's nothing wrong with it at all. And when I say at all, I really mean at all. Nothing wrong with it. But man, because of our evil nature, because of Adam nature, we couldn't keep it. The Mashiach came and did it for us. Hallelujah. That's what was going on with Yahudah in the book of Revelation when he was on the island of Patmos. He started weeping because nobody could keep the law. Everybody came up short. Look in the past, present, and future. Look in heaven and earth and under the earth. Nobody. But Yah had prepared himself a body. He said, I'll do it. Being found fashioned as a man. He humbled himself and came and beat it on the death. Even the death on that straws, on that torture stake. What they call the cross. And that because of false brethren unaware brought in. False brothers smile in your face. But really law-minded, tablet-minded. Who came in privately to spot our liberties. Where did liberty come from? Whom the Messiah set free is free indeed. You have liberty in him. Not to be restricted and in bondage to carnal commandments. We've been liberated to walk according to the solution, and the solution was recognized, found, and stamped on our forefather Abraham. Faith. He ain't had no 10 commandments. He wasn't tripping off no tassels and all that. No. And false brethren, because false brethren, unawares brought in, came in to privately to see the freedom that we got in Yahudah, but wanted to put us back up under the law of Moses. To whom we gave place by subjection? Nope. Nuh-uh. Didn't do it. Didn't give in to them. No, not for an hour. Nope. Ain't gonna happen. Nope. If your schedule allow you to serve him on Wednesday, you look good serving him on Wednesday. But understand this, you need to be worshiping him every day. But if you and a group of people, you and the watchman, the pastor, whatever, y'all can meet on Wednesdays because it conducive to the schedule, you look good. And it ain't talking about not physically working no more. Clean your house. Go do some good. Go help somebody. Yahudah at the porch, at Solomon's porch, told that man, take up your bed and walk. Them religious folks bum rush that man. They wouldn't even celebrate the miracle that Yah gave to that man. They so religious, so blinded by the 10 Commandments and tassels and beards. They was more concerned about him carrying his bed on the Sabbath than seeing that there was a notable miracle done by the Most High. That's what religious folks do. They can listen to me preach, and a young man posted on my thing, dude, out of order. And I want to know what I preach, what I say wrong. He didn't say nothing about the message. He was looking for my beard. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, to whom we gave place by subjection, no, not for an hour, that the truth of the gospel might continue with you. The truth. Get away from this bondage. But of these, whom seem to be somewhat, I'm talking about the Jews, these smart ones, these ones that, you feel me, got bigger camps, right? But of these who seem to be somewhat, whatsoever they were, it maketh no matter to me. Yah accepted no man's person. For they who seemed to be somewhat in conference added nothing to me. You can't come with that stuff, man. You sound deep. You're a good historian. Our brothers and sisters are a good historian, doing good videos, doing it. Man, put it down. Teach me something. Now you pull up a chair. You need to be taught something. You need to pull up a chair to this Galatians work. What Galatians is really talking about. What the gospel really is. The parallel between the old covenant and the new. Which ain't nothing but two different contracts. Two different wills and testaments. And the testament, the will of animals. Because the animals is one that was dying in the Old Testament for us to have a form of salvation. But that was a shadow and a type for the real lamb to come. Which was Yah taking on the body and dying on that tree for you and me. And without controversy, grace and mystery of Yahudah is Yah was manifest in the flesh. Read it, 1 Timothy 3:16. In the beginning was the Word was with Yah, the Word was Yah. 10th verse say, He was in the world and the world was made by Him. When was who made the world in the world? 14th verse say, and the Word was made flesh. That's when. When the Word that is Yah, the only true living Elohim, was born in the body. And being found fashioned as a man, of Philippians the 2nd chapter, being found fashioned as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient on the death, even the death on that tree. They call it a cross, y'all. Could that look like a T symbol? Tammuz. Well, at least that's his birthday, December 25th. Anyway, the T symbol. Because he was hung on a straw, a stake. Look it up. Or was it the T symbol? No, that's Tammuz, right? December 25th, 24th, 25th. Christmas Eve, Christmas. To whom we gave place by subjection. Nope, not for an hour, that the truth of the gospel might continue with you. But of these whom seem to be somewhat, they knew a little word, whosoever they are, make it no matter to me. Yah accepted no man person. For they who seem to be somewhat in conference added nothing to me. But contrariwise, when they saw that the gospel of the uncircumcision was committed unto me. Did y'all know that circumcision was the seal of like having a relationship with Yah, the being a law keeper? Did y'all know that? When they were in Sinai, when they were in Mount Sinai, when they was in the wilderness, they had to be circumcised, y'all, as a seal, signature to be a law keeper, right? And counterwise, when they saw that the gospel of the uncircumcision, this is not circumcision right here, and this is the full-fledged death, burial, resurrection of the Messiah, going to the uncircumcised because Saul, Paul, got tired of dealing with these religious folks that wouldn't listen. And he concluded in the book of Acts, he said, you know what? So I'm going to go to the Gentiles since y'all count yourself not worthy of eternal life. That was his conclusion. Of course, it was divine from Yah. In the blinding of the Hebrews, because of their disobedience, they trying to cover their wickedness by religion, ephods and beards. Carnal. Having a carnal relationship with the Most High. Even though the word clearly lets you know that Yah is a spirit. And they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. Yah is a Ruah, y'all. Elohim is the Ruah. And they that worship must worship him in Ruah and in truth. But when you're carnal, you don't know that. You're dealing with commandments on stone. You're dealing with physical days. You're dealing with tassels and beards. Brothers run around beating their wives but got fringes on. Got dried up grits in your beard. Wash that joker or cut it. I'm just saying, man, you keep your beard. I'm just saying. Ain't no salvation in it. Ain't no Samson. Feel me? You cut your beard, you lose your power? Is that what you think? Ain't none of that going on. The power is in the Ruach HaKodesh, the spirit of the living Elohim. But counterwise, when they saw that the gospel of the uncircumcision was committed unto me, I think, yeah, he committed unto me too. That's why I ain't got no beard on. But counterwise, when they saw that the gospel of the uncircumcision was committed on to me, as the gospel of the circumcision was committed on to Cephas, to Peter. This was like a new revelation to them. And unfortunately, our brothers and sisters find out who we are, leaving the church, and jump right up under the law. You missed the whole train. For he that wrought effectually in Cephas, in Peter, right, to the apostleship of the circumcision, the same was mighty in me towards the Gentiles. So, the same Elohim that had Peter, even though, remember, Yah came to Peter first. Showed him the sheet, lowered the sheet down, and sent him to Cornelius' house. But when you got strongholds of religion, taught one way, and a deeper truth come, when the deeper truth come, you so caught up. His name, Jesus. It couldn't be. If he was here 2,000 years ago, it wasn't even such thing as a letter J. So it couldn't be. Neither is there salvation in any other, for there's none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. It wasn't talking about Jesus. Jesus wasn't even invented yet. But when you're religious, say Jesus has been working for you, which I had no problem with that. That's why Psalms 138:2 say he exalts his word over his name. When you have the word and you obey it, and you call him Jesus, man, and you live in the life, man. Yahudah, our forefather, they call him Jacob. Jacob was wrestling with the Most High and inquired his name. He said, why are you asking my name, seeing it's a secret? But he still blessed him and changed his name from hustler, trickster to Israel. And told him, I did that because you prevail with Yah and man. So he changed his name to a name of spiritual favor from a hustler and trickster. But he didn't know his name. He didn't know his name yet. So if Yah blessed you even when you was in your ignorance, you going to stay stupid? You going to stay ignorant? No, you become stupid instead of ignorant. Ignorant is just you don't know. You become stupid when you don't want to know. When the truth comes and you reject it because you're so doggone religious. Because Yah blessed you in spite of your ignorance, you say you think the key is staying ignorant. The key is not staying ignorant. The key is growing in what y'all call grace. Growing grace. Growing more knowledge. You should be growing and learning more and evolving. For he wrought verse, y'all. For he that wrought effectually in Peter to the apostleship of the circumcision, the same was mighty in me towards the Gentiles. And when James, Cephas, Peter, y'all, Cephas, so yeah. And when James, Cephas, and Yachanan, they call him John, right? And when James, Cephas, and John, who seemed to be pillars, perceived the grace that was given unto me, they gave me and Barnabas the right hand of fellowship, that we should go on to the heathen, and they go on to the circumcision. So they would sent, Saul was sent to the heathen. And that's why he was telling them in Romans, you know, I'm the apostle over the heathen. I'm dealing with you. Y'all done hijacked the true Israel of their identity, switched it to y'all look the whole 9 yards, whatever. But I'm going to tell you what, Yah's waking his people up to know that he know that those that say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan, all that's being exposed right now. Because he wakened true Israel up. The problem with true Israel, they fell up under the law, the majority of them. They went straight religious. They don't have the revelation of the Mashiach no more. They went right into the shadow of him coming. They already arrived, but they went back and looked at the GPS map and went back to the beginning. You already arrived and said you've arrived. If you study scripture, you'll find out you arrived. He already came. Died on the tree for you and me, rose again with all power in his hand. Then poured out his Ruach HaKodesh to lead and guide us into all truth. Instead, we're going to leave the conclusion and go back to the beginning of the book. Go back to the beginning when he was building the roadmap to his coming. His coming ain't good enough no more. We're going to go back to the beginning and start carnally having a Sabbath. Carnally having the Feast of Trumpets. Carnally. We want the carnal. Only carnal people want the carnal. But he want us to worship him in ruah and in truth. And when James, Cephas, and John, who seemed to be pillars, perceived the grace that was given unto me, they gave to me and to Barnabas the right hand of fellowship, that we should go unto the heathen, and they unto the circumcision. Only they would that we should remember the poor, the same which I also was forward to do. They tried to add something to me, but I said, remember the poor. Dude, I've been doing that. All he was saying, from a scriptural standpoint, he's dealing with Gentiles, which the Jews wouldn't do. They were taught to stay away from them. When the Mashiach was on earth, he wasn't messing with no Gentiles. He ended up blessing that woman when she admitted she was a dog. Then he healed her daughter. But he was letting her know, he let that woman know, that Greek woman, he let her know, look, it's not me for me to give the children's bread on the dogs. She said, true, but even the dogs desire the crumbs that fall from the master table. He said, you know what? That's the type of faith I'm talking about, being honest. The Jews have a problem with being honest with the fact that they tripping, beating their wives, acting a fool, trying to sleep with everybody, not walking in the spirit of love. The Ruah is love. Yah is love. The Mashiach walked in love. Loved us so much that he was willing to lay his life down that we might live. That's love. When you carnal, you get some tablets and some fringes and a nappy beard, you good. You can act a fool, cuss people out, call folks devils. It's not cool. But you don't know, because you don't know him. You know the letter of the law. The law killeth. It's the Ruah to give life. It's the Spirit to give life. Huh. And when Peter was come to Antioch, I withstood him to his face. We finna get it, y'all. And when Cephas was come to Antioch, I withstood him to his face because he was to be blamed. For before certain of James, before that certain came from James, he did eat with the Gentiles. He ate with the Gentiles. See, our Hebrew brothers and sisters try to prove that the Gentiles is really Jews. You think that it was a problem with a Jew eating with another Jew, even if it was an ignorant Jew? A Jew is a Jew. Period. It's talking about people of other nations. That theology is not holding up. Gentiles are Gentiles and Jews is Jews. Let's get in the word, y'all. For before that certain came from James, Peter did eat with the Gentiles. But when they were come, he withdrew and separated himself, fearing them which were of the circumcision. Religious peer pressure. People locked up in their churches gonna force them to be preaching truth, even though they're not. But they're gonna force it. That's a religious state of mind. It's the wrong state of mind. You should be able to be used as a vessel of honor, even if you got to stir the soup and you got to go against the grain, because he told us to save ourselves from this untoward generation. And the untoward generation he's talking about is the untoward religious generation. And you got to be the type of person that's willing to stand by yourself with the Messiah. Alone. Quit leaning on people. Curses the man that trusts in man and making flesh his own. You can't be the type of person that's a sellout. You got so much respect for your pastor that the person is in false doctrine, but you don't want to admit that. You're going to force them to be preaching truth when it's not the case. When we need to stand with truth. Let's agree with truth is being preached, and let's correct what's not. Curses the man that trusted man, making flesh his arm, right? This computer's tripping. There's viruses on this joke. I'm going to have to get it cleaned up as soon as I get off this line. But anyway. But when Peter was come to Antioch, I withstood him to his face because he was to blame. For before certain came from James, he did eat with the Gentiles. But when they were come, man, this thing is tripping. Wow. Man, I need to get something else. Anyway, let me try. Wow. Anyway, let me try. For before certain came from James, he did eat with the Gentiles. But when they were come, he withdrew and separated himself, fearing them that were of the circumcision. And the other Jews disassembled. Oh, wow. Let me see. Hold on, y'all. Let's see. We're going to get it in. That's for sure. We ain't going to let nothing stop us. Here we go. And it says, okay, this is another translation, but we're going to get through it. I'll work them all, right? It says, okay, I started 11th verse, y'all. Look what it say. But when Peter was come to Antioch, I withstood him to the face, because he was to be blamed. For before certain came from James, he did eat with the Gentiles. But when they were come, he withdrew and separated himself, fearing them which were of the circumcision. And the other Jews dissembled likewise with him, inasmuch as Barnabas also carried away with their dissimulation. He got, when you act a fool and won't stand with truth, and you got weak people that won't stand with truth, they'll act a fool just like you. They'll walk away from truth. That's why we got to stay on our post and be down with Yah. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of Yah without effect? Yah forbid, let Yah be true, but every man a liar. As is written that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings, and mightest overcome when thou art judged. We got to stand with truth. I don't care who walk away from it. I don't care who don't like it. I don't care who is sometime a funny style. 14th verse. But when I saw that they walked not uprightly according to the truth of the gospel, I said to Peter before them all, if thou being a Jew livest after the manner of the Gentiles, and that is the Jews, why compellest the Gentiles to live as the Jews? You want the Gentiles to live as the Jews, but you living like a Gentile. You're a hypocrite. You want to talk about the things of the Most High, but you ain't doing it. You ain't living it. How are you going to tell them to live like a Jew? You're not telling them to live like Yah. You telling them to live like a Jew. You're not telling them to live like Yah. You tell them to live like a Jew. Well, look at how you acting, Jew. Judah. You cussing folks out, calling folks devils. You got a form of godliness, denying the power thereof. You won't walk in love. You ain't forgiving. You're carnal. You're a natural dude off the block with purple on, with a long beard now. Hecka religious, rude and mean. Not loving, forgiving. And you want the Gentile to live like you? Or you think the Gentile can't be saved when you act worse than some Gentiles? Then in your false doctrine, you'll believe that Gentiles are really fallen Jews. Well, what that make you? A Gentile? That's what he accusing Peter of. And when I saw that they walk not uprightly according to the truth of the gospel, I said unto Peter before them all, if thou being a Jew livest after the manner of the Gentiles, and do not as the Jews, why compellest thou the Gentiles to live as the Jews? We who are Jews by nature and not sinners of the Gentiles, knowing that a man is not justified by the works of the law. Y'all heard that? Knowing that a man is not justified by the works of the what? Faith? It didn't say that. Because faith without works is dead. If you ain't got no works, your faith don't work. This is saying the works of the law. Talking about the 10 commandments. Talking about carnal commandments like tassels and beards and ephods and natural days. Not knowing every time Yah bless you with a day, that's the day to be saved. That's the day to rest from your evil works and to live according to the leading of the Ruach HaKodesh. But you got to get revelation concerning that, because you got some folks running around here carnal, thinking that having a relationship with the Most High is carnality. I can't assemble today. Do you believe that me not cleaning my house for a whole day, a whole 24-hour period, is pleasing to Yah? That's what please him? Or is that a shadow of me not working, meaning that which comes out of a man? Fornication, adulteries, and lying, and it's not that which goes in. You think that serving the Most High is a diet? Eat healthy, because if you defile the temple, don't get it twisted. If you defile the temple, He's going to destroy you. But that's in the new covenant. Everything you need to live by in the new covenant, it's in there, and it's all spiritual. It is not carnal. Having a true relationship with the Most High is spiritual. 100%. It's the flesh that profits nothing. Knowing that a man is not justified by the works of the law. Knowing, you got to know this, that a man is not justified by the works of the law, but by the faith of Yahushua HaMashiach. Because he's the end of the law to them that believe. But we're going to keep reading. Knowing that a man is not justified by thinking he's serving Yah on a Saturday. Thinking that serving Yah is a diet, a dietary. There ain't nothing wrong with eating healthy. In fact, you better. Yah get you for tearing up the temple. It warns you on the pack of cigarettes. It ain't cool. Knowing that a man is not justified by the works of the law, but by the faith of Yahushua HaMashiach. Even we have believed in Yahushua HaMashiach that we might be justified by the faith of the Mashiach, and not by the works of the law. For by the works of the law shall no flesh be justified. Y'all heard that? You Saturday gatherers, gather on Saturday. Gather on a Saturn day. They named it Saturn Day anyway. Sun God Worship Day. They love to point out the fact that Sunday is Sun God Worship Day, right? But they don't tell you that Saturday is Saturn Day. And if the Most High can overrule Saturn Day, what they call the Sabbath, then he can also overrule Sun God Worship Day, and you still can praise him then too, because this is the day that Yah has made, and I'll rejoice and be glad in it. You want to assemble on Monday? They dropped the O. They dropped the O. Monday, Moon Day. Yeah, they was into astrology and sun god worship. So they started renaming stuff. Paganism. Constantine and them did a whole lot of stuff. Turned the Most High into a triune. They did all kind of unsavory, unyali things. But the Spirit of truth is rescuing his people. Shema Israel. Yahuwah Eloheinu. Yahuwah Ehad. He's one. Knowing that a man is not justified by the works of the law, but by the faith of Yahushua HaMashiach. Even we have believed in Yahushua HaMashiach that we might be justified by the faith of the Mashiach and not by the works of the law. For by the works of the law shall no flesh be justified. But if while we seek to be justified by the Mashiach, we ourselves are found sinners, is therefore the Mashiach the minister of sin? Yah forbid. Now, our brothers and sisters, they mean well. So then they go here with it. Well, if you ain't justified by the law, how you going to be saved? You're going to be lawless. Did you hear what the word said? That's why we got to study the word and quit studying camps and following people. And start studying to show ourselves approved on the Yah, a workman that need not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Look what it say. But if while we are seeking to be justified by the Messiah, okay, we're not messing with the law, but we're seeking to be justified by the Messiah. We ourselves are found sinners. Then he asks a question. Okay, so now you sinning because you're not under the law, right? So you think you can sin? Is therefore the Mashiach the minister of sin? The answer is right here. Yah forbid. The answer is no. You still got to obey and be led by the Ruach HaKodesh. And the new contract that was signed with his blood is in there. It tells you who will not inherit the kingdom of Yah. Fornicators, liars, adulterers, effeminates. Folks sleeping with folks they ain't got no business sleeping with. Same sex and all. Ridiculous. It's all in the word. Talk to believers. You got folks that don't want to believe in the word because they live in lawless. They freaky behavior, baby. They touching everything. Woo! Kinfolk getting it in. It's all good. It ain't sin no more. These folks have lost their mind out here. But if while we seek to be justified in Mashiachs, we ourselves are also found sinners, is therefore the Mashiach the minister of sin? Yah forbid. For if I build again the things which I destroy, I make myself a transgressor. If I'm building that old man, if I'm building the law, I'm not with that. The law only came 430 years after the promise made to Abraham because his children wasn't obeying Yah like Abraham did. So the law came to prove that they were guilty. Because ain't nobody kept it. All have sinned and come short. Ain't nobody kept that. So he kept it though. He's the only one that kept it. Then he died on a tree to take us from up under it. He kept it and then became a curse on a tree for us. To take us from up under it. For I through the law, look what it say. For I through the law am dead to the law. What that mean? I'm not going around the law to be dead to the law. I'm not avoiding the law. I'm going through it. I'm not breaking not one of them. I'm going through it. The Messiah went through it. He didn't avoid the law. He kept it. That's why the Hebrews will tell you, look at the Messiah. He kept the law. Yeah, he went straight through it. He did it because we couldn't. He went straight through it and kept it all. And when we're baptized into his death through believing in him, believing that he walked the earth and died for our sins, when we believe that he walked the earth, died for our sins, rose again with all power, according to Romans the 6th chapter, we're baptized into his death. When we receive him as our master, according to Romans 10 and 9, when we confess it with our mouth and believe that he died on that tree for you and me, rose again with all power, we're baptized into his death, according to Romans the 6th chapter. And when we're baptized into his death, we went through the law like he did. He kept it for us. We're in his body. The only body that kept it was his. He kept it, so we go through it. There's not one 10 commandment that we break, including keeping the Sabbath, but we got the revelation that is fulfilled in the Mashiach. The same body we were baptized in is the same body that kept it, fulfilled it, and we are now enjoying the fruits of the Sabbath through him. Come on unto me, all you that labor and are heavy laden, and I'll give you rest. What's the labor and heavy laden? The 10 commandments, trying to serve Yah through carnal commandments, which we couldn't keep. Come on to me, all you that labor, you trying to work out your own soul salvation? Quit laboring, he did it for you. Now follow him. And if you follow him, you're not going to sin. You're going to enjoy the conclusion of the 10 commandments, which is the Ruach HaKodesh, which is the spirit of love. The spirit of love will lead and guide you into all truth. You will never break now. You will never disrespect the Most High. You will love, you will not use his name in vain. You will not worship no one or nothing above him. You will keep the Sabbath. You will not defraud your brother, your sister. You're going to do exactly what the Ruach do, and that's love. Walk in ministry, walk in life, walk in the light, preach truth, love folks, go out of your way for folks. Do what he called you to do when you're led by the Ruach HaKodesh. For I build again the things which I destroyed. It's destroyed, baby. And I make myself a transgressor. For I through the law am dead to the law. I went through it. I didn't go around. I went through it, through the Mashiach, through the Messiah. I went through it, and now I'm dead to it. It has nothing to do with me. That's when Timothy get involved. Timothy, the first chapter, let you know the law is not made for a righteous man, but for the unyali, for the sinner. I believe it's 1 Timothy 1:7. The law is not made for me. I'm dead to it because I'm led by his spirit. That's what we're going to get there. I ain't gonna cheat the system. Well, Galatians, the 5th chapter, say it. But we're gonna get there because we in Galatians 2. For I through the law am dead to the law, that I might live unto Yah. I went through the law. I am not avoiding it. I'm not disrespecting it. It came out of Yah's mouth, and it would not return unto him void. It's all true and good. We came up short for what the law could not do, in that it was weak through our flesh. Yah sending his son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin condemned sin in the flesh, that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us. The righteousness of the law is fulfilled in us through the Ruach HaKodesh. The righteousness of the law is the conclusion of the law, which is the spirit of love, the spirit of Yah. Yah is a spirit. And they that worship must worship him in spirit and in truth. We got the spirit of Yah leading and guiding us into all truth. For I through the law, I ain't avoiding it. Not running from now one of them. I don't break none of them. Through the Mashiach. Through his living word. You know the 10 Commandments is his word. The only problem is it's on stone. And when it's on the stony heart of man, it condemns you. That's why it's the ministration of condemnation, because his word is on stone, which represents the stony heart of man. You lift that word off the stone, then you're walking in the Ruach, and you have a relationship with Yah, because Yah is the word that was on the stone. The Mashiach came and kept it while it was on the stone. Then he lifted it up off the stone and baptized it inside of you. Now it's written on the tables of your heart. So you're free from the 10 Commandments on stone. The carnal part of it, thinking that serving him is a physical carnal day, thinking that serving him is a beard and a tassel, thinking that serving him is a physical feast day. Go get you some lamb's blood and paint it on the doorpost of your house. Are you serious right now? If you do that, you're carnal, because that represented the blood of the Messiah. And if you got enough sense to know you ain't got to paint blood on your doorpost, don't you have enough sense to know that this is the day that Yah has made? I'll rejoice and be glad in it. Don't you know that you not sweeping and cleaning and working on your car if it break down? Don't you know that that has nothing to do with your salvation? That was a shadow of you not working, which is sin. For I through the law am dead to the law, that I might live unto Yah. I am crucified with the Messiah. That's what I said Romans the 6th chapter said. I'm crucified with the Messiah. Nevertheless, I live. Yet not I, but the Mashiach. The living word is running my life now. And it's not according to a carnal commandment. I'm crucified with the Messiah. Nevertheless, I live. Yet not I, but the Mashiach liveth in me. And the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of Yah, who loved me and gave himself for me. Woo! Come on, somebody. Can the ecclesia say amen? For I through the law am dead to the law, that I might live on the Yah. I am killed all the day long. Look, I am crucified with the Messiah. I'm dead with him. I was baptized into his death. Like as he was raised up by the power of the Father, even so we should walk in the newness of life. And the newness of life is being led by his spirit, not a carnal commandment. Get that tassel out of my face. It might mess your washing machine up. I am crucified, killed. The player, the pimp, the hustler, the murderer, the liar, the freaky person, the orgy. Dead. I'm crucified with the Messiah. I believed in him. I accepted him into my life as my master and my savior. Call him Abba Father. I am crucified with the Messiah. Nevertheless, I live. I'm crucified with him so I could live. If I wasn't killed with him, I'd be twice dead, plucked up by the roots. Run around here, dead man walking, dead man at the club, dead man beating his wife, dead man with a nappy beard, some tassels, some fringes, some sandals, dead, scandalous, can't be trusted, ain't no good, disrespectful, breath stink. I am crucified with the Messiah, nevertheless I live. Though I'm saying I'm dead, I'm telling you I live. And I'm alive forevermore because of the Ruach HaKodesh. Because of the relationship I have with the Most High. Because I have a relationship with His Spirit. They're led by the Spirit of Yah. They are the sons and daughters of Yah. If you ain't led by His Spirit, you're none of His. Read Romans the 8th chapter. It says that. For I through the law am dead to the law, that I might live on the Yah. I'm dead to the law. You might not be, but get revelation. Get rid of that bondage. For I, through the law, am dead to the law that I might live on the Yah. I am crucified with the Messiah. I died with him. When I believed in him, I was transferred into his death, baptized into his body. Rise up to walk in the newness of life. Like he was raised up, I'm raised up. I was killed with him. Nevertheless, I live. Yet not I, because I'm dead. Who I used to be, gone. Can't cuss you out, can't sleep with you. Can't beat you down. No, I'm not going to shoot at you. No, I'm not going to lie on you, for you, or to you. I'm dead. But the Mashiach liveth in me. Huh. Did you know the Mashiach is the Word? And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us as we beheld his glory as of the only begotten of the Father? Huh. The Mashiach liveth in me. The Word. He took the body off, y'all. The body died on a tree. Rose again. He came back without the body as the Word. The living Word that stood at the door and knocked. We heard his voice. The voice of the Word. We opened, let him in. He came in and started breaking the bread of life. Didn't he say I'm the true bread that came down from heaven? John the 6th chapter. Yakanan, y'all. They changed his name to make him sound a little different than he really looked. They called him John instead. But the Mashiach liveth in me. And the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of Yah. The life I now live in the flesh, I live by trusting the Word. Period. The Word of Yah, who loved me and gave himself for me. I do not frustrate the unmerited favor of Yah. I do not frustrate it. I do not take the power that he instilled in me for granted. I do not grieve the Ruach HaKodesh. I go against the Word. I'm going to walk according to it. If any man come after me, let him deny himself. I'm game with that. He said, if you don't suffer with me, you won't reign with me. I'm game with that too. I got to deny myself. I might want to sleep with her. I might want to slap you in your doggone mouth. I might want to dish you back. I might not feel like going to service. I might not feel like preaching right now. But I do not frustrate the gospel. I do not frustrate the grace of Yah, the unmerited favor of Yah, the unearnable ability to preach to you, though I'm sleepy. To plead with you with this much passion because you teaching crap. You believe in stuff that's not true. Israel, you done fell under the law. Gentiles, y'all done hijacked the Hebrews for their doggone identity. And you're too prejudiced to admit it. Africa, yeah, the Middle East is in Africa. Northeast Africa. Look it up. It was renamed the Middle East during World War II, so you would know that it's Africa. Because if you knew it was Africa, you might believe the truth that the doggone Jews is then African. And the only reason why all of it's called Africa is because Africanus conquered it. And predominantly Shemites and Hamites out there. Who you call the Africans? They're more than one people. And then you think Africans turned on Africans. Well, if you want to call everybody over the Africans, that would be a true statement. But if you want to say they was renamed Africans and they was really Shemites and Hamites, then the children of Ham is the ones that turned on the Shemites and had them shipped into slavery. And if you find out that the Zondervan Bible Dictionary say that Ham is the progenitor of the dark races, but not the Negro. And you know Israel was shipped over here and on their birth certificates they put Negro at one time, right? Because those are the Negroes. And the Negroes' daddy name is Shem. Huh. I do not frustrate the grace of Yah. For if righteousness came by the law, then the Mashiach death is in vain. How your righteousness come? Did it come by the law? Heck no, because no flesh is going to be justified in the sight by the law. Huh. Your righteousness came through having a relationship with Yah, having a relationship with his word. And having a relationship with his word is obeying it. If you obey his word, please believe me, you're going to live righteously, because his word is righteous. Galatians, the 2nd chapter. I pray you got some food out of it. Spirit of living Yah, we thank you for this opportunity to come before you, humbly to know how. Pray that your word went forth with clarity, follow down the souls of your children, springing up an everlasting life. Send your word globally that we may govern ourselves accordingly and give revelation. We trust, believe, and thank you. In the matchless name of Yahushua Mashiach, we humbly pray. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And amen.
Conference recording stopped. Conference unmuted.
That was a lesson for today, Facebook Live. We pray that you got some out of the word. Man, I preach with passion because I love y'all, and I'm trying to shake you up just so you can bow down to truth. If you have any questions, I'm on. I'm not shying away. 302-202-1102, extension 815648. Again, 302-202-1102, extension 815648. Chime in and holler at me. If not, I love you. Hey, push the share button. Tell a friend. You be Baruch. Barak Shalom.